Still got some interesting buildings around here. We're on the back end of the cathedral. I'm trying to get you both sides. It looks really grim down there. I've never seen so much graffiti on walls and doors in Sheffield. There was never any when I used to work here. These, you know, like town centre buildings. Really can't believe this is Sheffield. This used to be my walking to work every day. Back down to Paradise Square there. And this was the Wigan Pen. That used to be a busy, thriving pub. Some sort of craft and dough it says now, but I think they've been hammered with all of this. So if anybody started a new business or just got a business going, I mean, it's grim reality for them. These are all new buildings from when I was here 20 years ago. There was a lot of development back in the 60s and 70s, and then it sort of quieted down, and then it went absolutely ballistic after 2000. So that takes you back down to Griffin House. Silver Street Head. If it was a nicer day, I'd go that way because it was a bit easier. I'm just going to show you the back end of Griffin House. It looks so run down nowadays. It's like a feeling you get. It's not the feeling I had when I went to work. Suit on and nice coat on and decent shoes on. It's a run down feeling. This is the back end of Griffin House. It's been completely redeveloped. This is, I think, block 4. And then there's another one. There's a block 5 as well, hidden behind here. But you can see the size of Griffin House, and then the new site. I wouldn't even say it's a quarter of Griffin House. Technology jobs that were around in Griffin House when we worked there, a lot of those disappeared. HSBC had the staff training people up from abroad. Even Tankersley Data Centre, the actual hardware is maintained on site, but the actual fault finding and all of that is actually done externally in somewhere like Poland. So I'm still on Campo Lane. These are buildings that were around when I was around. But I want to show you one particular building that I love. So this is Church Street, takes you down to the cathedral. Across there is Leopold Street, and that beautiful building, which I'll get a better angle on, is Steel City House. Now if I'm right, this one over here on the right hand side was Steel City Plaza. There's HSBC and people in there. So let me see if I can get a better angle on this beautiful building. So Steel City House was a telephone exchange. Absolutely beautiful building, probably built in the 1900s. It's now offices and various other things. I think it's had a bank downstairs as well, whether that was HSBC or Midland. I'm going to take you down Pinfold Street now and just show you the pubs down here, because whether these reopen or not, I don't know. But this looks horrible, this. I know that was around when I was around. I think the scout shop's down here and it's still there. I don't think scouting's what it was. Something called the Anglo Works there. Must have been a cutlery firm or something like that. Back end of the city, all on West Street. There's still a nip in the air though. That's the back end of that beautiful white building, Steel City House. It looks like there's a pub here of some kind. Maggie Mays must be a pub. Dog and Partridge here. I must have been in the Dog and Partridge in the past, but I can't remember it. Well, like I said, the Scout and Guide shop's here. I remember it being full of uniforms in the window, so I think this is Trippet Lane now. I think it moves from one to the other. Then we've got the Grapes pub here. Whether these survive or not's another thing, because we've got 3 pubs on this road. I'm going to show you another one in a minute, and that's why I think I know we're on Trippet's Lane, because we've got Trippet's Lounge Bar here. I mean, that's all boarded up, whether they've had problems or not. It's back down the road. I'm trying to document as much of Sheffield as it is now. So on Trippet Lane there, development here again, whether these are new flats, most likely are. So that takes you down to Broad Street down there. This would have all been industrial area back in the 80s. So anybody who haven't been in Sheffield for 20 years will think they're actually on planet Mars, not in Sheffield. Down to Broad Street. So I'm going to come back up to West Street in a minute and go up West Street. I think I'll call it a day today, but West Street used to be the place where all the student accommodation, eating, drinking and sleeping. One last look up there. It's like being in Sleeping Beauty, where everybody's asleep. So I was born in 1964, and it's the deadest I've ever seen Sheffield. That takes you down to Leopold Street down there. So we're actually on West Street at the moment. Just want to get another view on Steel City House. Absolutely fantastic, that building. So both the Germans and Sheffield City Council didn't manage to destroy that building, thank God. Well, let's put this into perspective. Up to the end of December, 26 people had died of COVID-19 in Sheffield hospitals from a Freedom of Information request. Everybody else had serious underlying health issues. Even then, the PCR test doesn't test for COVID-19, so there's nothing to say even those people, 26 people who died of COVID only actually died of COVID-19, because the PCR test doesn't isolate COVID-19, it just says that you've got some form of coronavirus. Anyway, that's one reality. 2021. Let's go to 1940, the Sheffield Blitz, which was over 2 nights, back end of the City Hall. So the Sheffield Blitz was over 2 nights. I think there was a 2-day separation, so the civilian and shopping area to start with, Blitz, most of them are Angel Street, lots of really nice buildings. Then the second night they went for the East End, and East Eckler Works and various other things. So the Germans didn't make a mistake hitting Sheffield city centre. They went at that time to scare the actual population. So there were actually 660 deaths. 78 of those deaths occurred in the Marples Hotel, which got a direct hit, while people were actually hiding in the cellars that night. There was 1,500 people injured, 1,500 houses destroyed, 1,500 houses badly damaged, 78,000 with partial damage, 40,000 people homeless. So that's 1940. Can you see? The Sheffield people from 1940 didn't hide. They got on with their lives. Far more deaths. It's down Carver Street. There used to be a nightclub, or like a nightclub bar down there. Back end of City Hall. There was a pub there, and I don't know what that pub was, but it's dead. This was the student area. Pubs, restaurants, places to sleep. Can't believe how empty it is along here. That takes you right down to Broad Street. We're heading towards the university at the moment. You can see the lack of people down here. Last week I had a Asian taxi driver stop and think I was filming him. No, I wasn't filming him. I said I was filming the state of Sheffield, trying to show people what's going on. Molly Malone's. I'm sure the student bars will reopen because the number of student flats are building around here. But if you go on my channel, you'll find other videos of Sheffield. I'm trying to do it in segments so people can see what's happening to the city. Launcher Hotel there, that's boarded up again. Like I said, I don't know whether it's boarded up because it's permanent or boarded up because they're having trouble with people smashing windows. Got something called Eldon Street there. There used to be a massive British Telecom exchange and building down there. It's all like students now around here. Student area, sorry. See more flats tucked in behind here. And that's, I reckon we must have got at least two by 1 square metre area of student flats. Sort of getting up to the end of West Street now. Beehive there, Beehive pub. What hope do we have? Young people, 18-year-olds wearing masks in the streets. Just here. There's a bank and we're coming up to Glossop Road Baths as well. But I'm going to turn back round and go the other way and show you the other side. See the sort of thing here with like restaurants and student accommodation above it. That beautiful church up there, St George's Church, it's now a psychology department for Sheffield University. Unbelievable. I've never ever seen West Street so dead, and we're talking Saturday lunchtime. Just about up here is the Sheffield Ring Road. There's a TA building up there. Would have been would have been the regular army at one bit, but as far as I know now, it's territorials are in there. The graffiti on side of their building, I mean, it's just unknown of this in past in Sheffield. Then we're on the ring road and there's something called, I think that's Harley's a pub. I don't know if that was the West Street Hotel when I was younger, but I'm not sure where the West Street Hotel was. It's possibly that was the West Street Hotel. But that takes you right up to the university up there. My big concern about the lockdown is mental health issues, the number of suicides, but also people with lesser mental health issues like drinking too much, overeating, and other anxiety issues that's built up due to this. Brainwashing by the mainstream media, and now the Daily Mail suddenly coming out saying, are people really dying of COVID-19? Because people are now starting to challenge it. So here was Glossop Road Baths, and it looks like it's still got a Turkish baths down here. So that's survived. See more student type flats here. I think it's a big mistake to have so many students. I think we should have only had 10% of what they're actually sending to university, and 90% should have been doing apprenticeships of some kind. I actually believe my apprenticeship back in the 1980s, process control apprenticeship and HNC, were far more than the degrees even at that time. I was compacting my education in, doing about 35 hours a week in a training centre for 2 years, and a day at Rotherham College doing my HNC in industrial measurement and control. And I think I packed a lot more education in 4 years than anybody going and doing a degree. So you can see more flats down here, but these have been around for some years with like restaurants and shops underneath. It's all geared towards the university in this area. But where does the university money come from? Probably comes from you and me, as well as the students paying £9 a year for education, then a further £6 a year for accommodation. Massive industry, but I don't think it's value for money. I mean, they've been teaching them that CO2 is warming the world. Well, that education's completely wrong. What's warming the world and cooling it is our orbit around the sun, along with the 11-year cycle of the sun intensity. So education is not education anymore. They're not teaching them real science, they're teaching them fake science. So what's the point of these degrees? Somebody was saying to me yesterday, why don't I play the game and wear a mask, even though they don't believe in the lockdown? I said, that's the problem, you're playing the game, you're wearing a mask. The next thing it'll be was vaccination certificates. So you're playing the game. I don't play the game and look stupid. I've even been called a village idiot for protesting against the lockdown. Well, I'm trying to save lives and businesses. You can call me all you like, but at the end of the day, you're going to be the village idiots once the PCR test is proven to be a fraud in court. I'm not bothered about hurting your feelings, I'm bothered about saving lives and saving businesses and the truth. So the truth will come out in the end. You can see how few people are down here. That's Rockingham Street that takes you into the city centre in one direction. As you can see, the sky is absolutely perfect today. But at this point I'm going to shut down my camera because I've done all I'm going to do today to show you this area. It's another angle on Sheffield just to show people we're at ground zero now. Things can only get better, but the problem is, are we going to reset it the way we want it to be? Or are we going to allow the globalists to reset it the way they want it to be? Choice is really up with you. It's either reset it for a people type world or set it for a digital slavery type world. So that's the end of my tour anyway. I hope you enjoyed it, and any ideas for other videos, please shout up.